This is Marie, World Peas Knits, episode 39. Thanks for joining me. So, on today's podcast, I have works in progress, and then I have finished objects. I have a beginning knitter project update on with my friends that are working on their projects, what they've completed, and what they're working on. And then I have some holiday party footage. And then I have a protein ball recipe at the very end that I'll be putting in. One of the viewers requested it. She saw it on my Instagram page and she asked if I could give you the recipe. So I did like a little video showing how to make it. And that'll be at the very end. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with works in progress, stuff I've been working on. I made this little bag. And I made it with it's a sewing project, made it with the Hue Loco project bag, her free pattern. And so you can just look up Hue Loco, Hueloco, and then she has like a holiday bag pattern. And I did that, but I pieced together the front of it. So I just pieced different, like I kind of make it a square, like a, pieced square. And then I used that for the front of my bag. And then I just used a plain fabric for the back of my bag. And I lined it with this fabric that has the name of knitting and quilting shops on the inside of it that I got at the Loopy U one of the times I was visiting there. So my first project is inside of this bag. I also have this other sewing project that I did. I'll just go ahead and tell you about it since I'm talking about sewing projects. This is called a flat sack, and I found it on Pinterest, and it's like a little zipper pouch. It's like a pencil. I think it was originally like a zipper pouch for pencils, and there's a free pattern that I used, and it's on www.aspoonfulofsugardesigns.com, and it's called a pencil case. It's like how to make a pencil case tutorial. And I wanted to learn how to make them so that I could put notions, like knitting notions inside. So I could put, a pair of scissors and some needles and some stitch markers and all of the little knitting notions that I use. And I have like a little needle, a chibi needle case in there. So anyway, if you're interested, I found it on Pinterest, but you could just go to that website that I'll put it down below if I remember. And it's called How to Make a Pencil Case Tutorial. All right, so that's inside of this bag. I also have 2 pairs of socks that I'm working on. One is Knit Circus yarns, and it is Knit Circus Ballerina. That's the yarn base, and then 60% merino, 30% bamboo, 10% nylon, and the colorway is called Race to the Cookie Jar, and it's a gradient, so it will just automatically transition to the colors. So it came with 2 balls, and I've started on the first one. I'm using size 2.75 needles. So I haven't quite gotten to the green yet. So this is what it looks like. And so it'll just be a gradient. I'm not sure if I'm going to make them super long so that I can get to the yellow, or if maybe I'll use the yellow for the heels. I'll see how far I get. And then I'm going to do afterthought heel socks. So we'll see what that looks like. And then the next thing that I have in this project bag, I lost the ball band to this pair of socks, so I don't know, I can't remember what type of yarn it is, but it's really cute. It's a speckly yarn. If you really want it, I could try to look back in my notes, because I feel like I might have started something with this before. It might be in another podcast like back in the day, but it was a while ago. So if you're really interested, I'll try to go back and find it. Just leave me a message down below and I'll look for it for you. And this is what it looks like. So, and I've just started the first sock. I'm using some flip sticks, and these are the flip sticks, which are one end is blunt, and then one end is pointy, and so you can just decide which one you like to knit with better. So those are kind of neat. All right, so that is what I have in that bag. And then the next project that I've been working on, just going to look down at my notes, was in my snowman bag, which is super cute. And this bag is by the Silver Shed. And it's just a little holiday bag. I have, so my friend Jana got me this yarn because she said it reminded me, or her of me. And it's unicorn yarn, of course, because I somehow got, like, I said I liked unicorns or something, and it got a little crazy, and now I keep getting unicorn stuff, which is fine, because I do like unicorns. But, so this one is Knit Stitch, and it's knitstitchyarn.etsy.com if you're interested in looking for it. I'm not sure where she picked this up, if it was at a craft show, like it's a local yarn dyer, or if she was at a yarn shop. I thought she said it was at a craft show, but you can go on Etsy and look at their yarns. And this colorway is called Unicorn Tail. So, and this one is a Softy Sparkle sock. So it's merino, 75%, 25% nylon, and 5% stellina. And stellina is the glitter part. So I don't know if you can see it, but there's a few glittery parts in it. So I started on that. Now, these I'm not sure if I'm going to make socks or fingerless mitts with, because they're so cute. I might make them into mitts, so I don't know. I kind of knit along, and then I decide, oh, I want these to be socks or mitts or whatever. But I really kind of like these for fingerless mitts, so I might make them into mitts. You can check back with me on the next episode and see what I've done. But they're so cute, and I love it, Jana, if you're watching. All right, and then the next thing that I have on the needles in this bag is a pair of socks. These I definitely have put in the heel, the waist yarn for the heel. So this one is the 2018 Advent 24 stripe skein. So this was for, you're supposed to knit a few colors a day for Advent, and then at the end you would have a pair of socks, and I never finished mine because I got distracted with holiday gifts, and actually I knit a lot of hats. It was like the hat fest since the last podcast. So but the Bliss is the base. It's called Bliss, and then it's by the Cozy Knitter, and I believe that she's out of Canada, but she's like an indie dyer that dyes the self-striping yarns. So this is how far I've gotten, and it's so neat. Now I made these really tall so I could try to get through the ball, and it comes with two balls that are perfectly matching. So so what I did was I knit this first bit right here, then I put in waist yarn, and then I'm going to knit to the foot of the sock, and then knit to the toe, and see how far I can get. So I was trying to use a lot of the yarn so I could see all the stripes. And I believe that there's like it'll be maybe like 2 sets of 24 by the time I'm done with one sock. So, alrighty. And so that's what's in that. And these are just a standard 2x2 rib at the top. Excuse me, all the fuzz. 2x2 rib at the top. And then I'm doing 64 stitches around, which is like for a standard adult I have a size 12 foot, so in women's. Alrighty. And then the next thing that I have on the needles, let me put this all away, is, I'm going to turn my notes. Okay, so I have this other holiday bag. Now, I don't know if I've shown this on the last podcast. I haven't podcasted in a while. I was busy at work, then I got sick, and all these things happened, and so I didn't podcast at Christmas. But this is kind of like after the fact. It has a few holiday things in it, but not too much, hopefully. So this bag I had made, and this was the same type of bag that using that Hue Loco pattern, but I pieced together all these fabrics. And then these are some, this is just the same like the bunny square, but it was like fabric that I bought at the Loopy U, and it had just little squares of different scenes on it. So I had fussy cut this little square out, just like I fussy cut the bunny out, and then I made a bag. And this was some ribbon that I stitched to the bottom of it. Not sure why I chose to do that, but I wanted to do that at that point. So, and then this is that fabric that I love that has the mice on it that everyone had for Christmas. So I had to get some of that too. But inside of this bag, and then I put some little candies, you know, like little peppermint candy fabric on the inside. So in this bag, I have 2 items. I have this West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, and this is in the Fairy Lights colorway. And then I have the red cayenne. And then together, I was gonna make a pair of socks, but then I decided that they would be mitts because I wanted another pair of holiday mitts. I have one pair that I use all the time and I love them, but I wanted a second pair, so I made the first one. I had completed it. I don't think I had it completed on the last one. I think I thought they were going to be socks still in the last podcast, but so this is what they look like. Super cute. And I thought these are so cute. They have to be mitts, so I made them into mitts. So this is the first one. It's kind of slouchy, but I love it. And then I'm just starting the second one. So I'm right here on the second one, like I'd cast it on and maybe knit like 2 rows or something. So I'm on the ribbing. And then these are just actually, so this is a 2x2 rib, like 2 knits, 2 purls. And then I did 64 stitches around, and this yarn makes this colorway. It's like dyed like that, so you don't have to change yarns or anything. And then I just knit down, and then I made a buttonhole where I cast off just like 6 or 7 stitches, I think 7. And then I cast back on the next go round, and then I did a decrease. Usually what I do then is I'll knit 2 stitches together on each needle, because there's 4 needles the way that I have them. And so I'll do 4 decreases over the next little bit, and then I'll do a ribbing for the top of the hand. Just another 2x2 rib, which is 2 knits, 2 purls, so that it's smaller at the top of the hand. So, all right, and then the next thing in that bag is Lolo Did It, Hippo for Christmas. And so this one is in her plush sock base, and it's Hippo for Christmas. And it's after that song, All I Want is a Hippo for Christmas, or Hippopotamus for Christmas, or something like that. So, and this is it. So the gray is for the hippo, and then the Christmas, obviously the red and green. But it's so cute. I saw so many other people making socks out of it. I totally wanted to make a pair. And so I had started my my socks, but I did not get them done. But I'll work on them. I'll continue to work on them. This is where I've put the waist yarn, and then I'll put a heel there when I'm done. I also have 2 little Lolos, which I'll do the heels and toes with. I only did a small amount of green on the top because I didn't have enough to do like a full green cuff and then the heels and toes. So this one is the Shamrock colorway, the little Lolo, and then this one, I don't remember what she calls her red, Sriracha. So yep, that's what I'm doing with that. And these are size 2, 2.75 needles. And I have one more thing that I've been working on that is still a work in progress that I haven't finished yet since the last podcast. So let me get that. Okay, so this is an oldie but goodie. So I had been working on this. I had made one other shawl, and it's called the Scrappy Bias shawl. So my pattern is a little beat up, but this is what it is. It's a free pattern, and it's by Emily Clausen. And so it's just like leftover scraps of yarn from sock projects. And I had made one, and I wear it all the time, and I had started a second one, and I hadn't finished it. So I thought, I'm going to pull out that Scrappy Bias shawl and try to work on that to get it done. So I'm using size 6 Signature needles, which is the brand Signature. And just for anybody new who might not know, so there's different brands of needles, but this one, and this I believe is their stiletto tip, so it's got a pointy tip. But I really like these Signature needles. They're kind of spendy, but I have a few pair. So all right, and so this is what it looks like. So I'm just using scraps left over from sock projects or minis that I got. So let's see. And I believe the last time that I showed this, I was somewhere in here or something. So I've picked it up and I've knit a good amount on it because these are the longer part. This part of the shawl is the longer part. And I believe the last time that I knit the other one, I knit until there were about this many stitches on the needle. So you're increasing, and you increase up every time you knit back and forth. So I have a little ways to go, but I'm pretty close. So I thought I'm going to work on this to see if I can get it done so I can wear it. Maybe in the spring when it's, a little bit warmer. And so I have this little bag that it's a little Spud and Chloe bag, and it has like a ton of little scraps and minis and all kinds of things in there wound up. And I'm just pulling from there and adding them on. So, okay. So the next thing, let's see, is finished objects. I'm going to go ahead and show you, let's see. The first thing I have listed is I contacted Chelsea Yarns, and her name is Christina, and she was offering, like on the podcast, I was watching her podcast, she was offering to send anybody the road trippin' hat on one of the podcasts, and she just said, email me and I'll email you the road trippin' hat pattern. And so I did, and this is what I got back, and it's a free pattern. Now I didn't see it, I don't think I saw it on Ravelry. I think you have to email her for it, or maybe you can get it with a purchase, but this was, at this particular time, she was just sending it out via email. So you'll have to check with her and see if she is still doing that or not. But her road trippin' hat is one skein of like a sock weight or a DK weight, and then one skein of mohair. And so I thought, when the new year comes, I want to make something with mohair. Everybody's making stuff with mohair. I thought that would be super cool. I don't have any mohair, I don't believe. I take that back. Maybe I made something with mohair. I made a pie shawl, Sock Bunny's pie shawl, and I think that had mohair in it. But that is the only thing I've ever made with mohair, and that was like I think it was Michael's, or it was a big box store mohair. But this is something that that she dyes at Chelsea Yarns. She sent this little sticker along with this little button from Chelsea Yarns, and she was very nice. And let's see, so this is the mohair. Now it's very thin. This is what it looks like. And she dyes it. Christina dyes it. And this is it, Chelsea Luxe, hand dyed. And this colorway is called Cookie Gate. And so she had this whole thing going at Christmas time where her husband could be bribed with cookies for these big kahunas that he makes, which are big balls of yarn. Anyway, and they called it Cookie Gate, where, you know, the bribery about the cookies or whatever. So anyway, it was funny. But I wanted to make, so this is Chelsea Luxe mohair. So 72% kid mohair, 28% silk. I can barely read it. And so it's silk and mohair combined. Yeah, 72-28. And she's dyed it in the Cookie Gate colorway. And this is the sock yarn that goes along with it, which is her Chelsea Luxe. It's called Luxe Glitter because it has the stellina in it. And so I held one strand of each together and I knit, and I have plenty left. I'm not sure if I could knit a whole other hat, but I could try. Maybe I might be able to get another hat out of this. I'll have to see. So here's the finished object. So the only thing, so I made a couple of modifications. I didn't do I believe she did a twisted rib for this part, for the ribbing part. And I just did my standard 2x2 rib. Because I wanted it to just be not as tight. Like you see in the picture, it kind of is tighter. And she did like a 1x1, I believe. And it was twisted. So she was like knitting through the back loop, I think. I'm not sure. You would have to refer to the pattern. But I just did this because I liked it. And I wanted it to be kind of loose fitting and slouchy. And then I knit extra in the height. So I just made it to however, you know, I wanted it to be. And then I put this pom-pom with glitter in it, on it. So I'll just show you what it looks like. It's a little... It is super cozy. It's very like lofty and it's warm, but it's so light. So I really like it. I just wanted like a big kind of slouchy hat that I could wear when it was cold out. And I wanted to try out the mohair. So I love it. I definitely will knit another one next time. I'll have to show you what I come up with. And I was even thinking I could just knit something else with the rest of this, like another sock yarn with this, and make a different one in case I don't have enough of this left. But I might. Or maybe I could make fingerless mitts. I'll have to see what I come up with. All right, so that's my first finished object. I love it. I will make another one, definitely. Okay, and then the next thing that I made was... Okay, sorry, I had to look at my notes. With this Biff's Sugar, or actually it's Biff Sugar Yarns. And her colorway is Tiggy Winkle. So I don't know what that refers to. But it's a pink, another pink hat. So I thought, I have like 1 or 2 pink hats that I've knit for myself in the past. So I knit another pink hat for myself. And this is what it looks like. It's in the Violet Waffles pattern. So this is one of my favorite patterns. I really like it. And I've worn this as well as the road tripping hat already. So I couldn't wait. And this one, these are fake fur palms. So it's a crazy big palm. So this is my Violet Waffles hat. And I love that pattern. So this is what it looks like. I knit several other Violet Waffles for Christmas gifts for people. Oh my gosh, my hair is crazy. Okay, there we go. And this is the one that I knit for myself. And I knit it a little bit longer than the pattern calls for because I like it really slouchy. All right, and that, I believe I knit that with a size 6 for the ribbing, and then I knit a size 7 for the hat portion of it. And then I just did the decreases in the pattern, you know, the top. All right, and then the next hat that I finished was, I had decided I wanted to, I had got 3, oh my goodness, I got 3 colorways of this yarn, and I was going to make a hat that involved changing the colors, and I didn't do that. I decided that I didn't care for it was like something that they were having at the Loopy U, where they gave you the pattern and then you switched colors, and I just decided I didn't want to do that pattern with the yarn, and I decided to use the yarn just to make a hat. This is the yarn. This is one of the colorways. I have 2 more in the same type of yarn. It's called Dream, and City is the type of yarn. It's a heavy worsted, and then the colorway is this, A Little Night Music, colorway 912. So this yarn is 100% merino, and it's very heavy. So it had a lot of excess dye that was coming off on my hands while I was knitting it. So what I decided to do was I went ahead and just wanted to finish it, and then I decided to just wash it with soak. I washed it with soak actually, which releases a little extra of the dye. And until I just kept washing it, maybe like 4 or 5 times until it became clear. So I believe it's not going to leave blue dye on anyone's head. I hope not. But this is it. And I just made up a, 2x2 rib. And then I believe it was like 88 stitches, and then I knit it kind of short, more like a beanie. And I thought I might gift this to someone. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with it. I didn't put a palm on it yet. I might just bring it into the city and gift it to someone who looks like they need it. So that was kind of my thinking on this, because it looks kind of like a man's hat. So I might do that. All right, and so those are my finished objects. I have several hats that I actually knit, but I don't have with me. And so I have a little like video of pictures that I'll insert here. And basically they're just gifts that I gave out that I don't have anymore to show you. I have a pair of fingerless mitts in there in a worsted weight, so they're kind of a heavy duty fingerless mitt. And I made them with this plucky knitter. And it's in a colorway called I Feel Pretty. I hope you can't hear my cat crying outside the door, but he is. Colorway I Feel Pretty, and in her worsted. And I also believe that I put this color in for the stripes. So this was just a leftover of another Violet Waffles hat that I made. So that's the first finished objects. I have 3 Violet Waffle hats, and I put down there the colorways that I used to make them. I believe these are them. There's just, I'm not sure. Oh, this one. So these are the 3 colorways, and I put the color names and the type of yarn that they are. This one's Hedgehog Fibers, and the colorway Heyday, and then this one, I'll just tell you since I have them out. This one is Hedgehog Fibers in the colorway Deja Vu, and then this one is Lolo Did It, Helping Hippos, which was a charity yarn. She sent all the proceeds to a charity. And I made this one for my sister's husband. So I'll show all of those in this next little clip. And also there's a baby hat that I made. And actually it wasn't just me, it was everybody in my office. So one of the ladies in our office in a different department was having a baby girl. And so I started it, and then we passed it around, and everybody who could knit, and even people who couldn't knit, were knitting on it. So everybody in our department knit on this little baby hat, and it's going to be pictured at the end of the finished objects. And I crocheted some ears for it because Jana was like, let's put ears on it, because she goes, should we put a pom-pom? I said, sure. And then she said, oh, look at the one with ears on it. She was looking in Ravelry, and so we did some ears. We crocheted some really quick little ears. This is the yarn that we used for the hat, and I'll just show it here. Now this is just a big box store yarn. It's Kai, and it is by Loops and Thread, and the color is Happy. Right there. It's just a worsted weight washable yarn so that the mother could wash the baby hat. That's what we had left over, so I could probably make another one with what we have left over. So that is the finished objects. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in an update with the projects that Jana and Christine are working on. So there'll be like a little slideshow of photos. Christine has a lot of finished objects in that slideshow. She has really taken to knitting. Jana is knitting also. Jana is starting to crochet. We're working on a bag for the next, I'll put that on the next episode, but we're going to be making a market bag. So look forward to that. She's working on that currently, and I'm going to crochet along with her and make a market bag. And then I'll show that, and I'll show how we did it on the next podcast. And then let's see. And then I have some holiday party footage. And then I have the protein ball recipe at the very end. I was going to show you also the coffee and tea corner real quick. I've been drinking vanilla hazelnut by San Marco, and I really love it. It's delicious. And then I have a couple of teas that I've been drinking. Caramel vanilla. And this is Republic of Tea. And this is a black tea with caramel and vanilla in it. And then obviously, and then I have this other one by the Republic of Tea, vanilla almond. There's a theme, vanilla. And then I have one other one that I hadn't shown, but I was drinking it over the holidays. It's a chamomile vanilla puka tea. So it's really good. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye, but I will have those other little updates after this. So stay tuned if you're interested. Bye. Thanks for watching. See you next time. peanut butter protein balls, and here are the ingredients. Craisins and oats and some salt, some peanut butter, some vanilla, some mini vegan chocolate chips, so they're made with no dairy or anything like that, and then nutmeg and cinnamon. Okay, so I've put in a cup of peanut butter into the mixer, and then I'm adding a cup of oats and a half a cup of craisins, and then a quarter of a cup of the mini chips. And then I'm going to put in some of the nutmeg, about this much. That is probably more like a quarter of a teaspoon. And then some of the cinnamon. Let's see. And then I'll go ahead and mix that up. Now I kind of just see what it looks like. If it looks a little dry, then I'll add a little more. Actually, it looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of vanilla. And then a little bit of salt. I just added like about 4 little cracks of this salt in there. I'm going to go ahead and mix it up again. So basically that's the consistency you're looking for. And then I'm just going to scoop it out, you know, with a little scooper, and put it on a plate and then put it in the refrigerator. So I will check back with you when I've got it all scooped out. So this is what they look like after I've scooped them out with this little scooper. And I would say this scooper is maybe like, I don't know, 2 tablespoons or so. So now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and refrigerate these, and when they're firm, then I'll roll them into balls, and then I'll pack them in little jars for lunches or for breakfast or whatever for me to take to work.